Howdy, this is Eddie with another episode of Corn-Fed Bushcraft. Today I want to take just a few minutes and talk to you about preparing for an end-of-the-world situation as we know it. As you can probably guess, and my theory is just a guess as well, the first month after power goes off the grid and situations like that is going to be the most difficult. Probably learning to adjust and finding your own food and stuff like that. So I feel that's the hardest time. That's going to be the time that we need to prepare for the most. The adapting to a survival situation, the adapting to a living off the grid situation. Now, most people think about raising animals such as rabbits and stuff like that to sustain them indefinitely after power and stuff goes off the grid. This is all fine and good, but what most people don't think about is feeding these animals without the power. Where are you going to go buy food? You're not. Rabbits are an animal that unless you want to go out all day long and gather grass to feed these animals, or you're going to just turn them loose, you're not going to be able to provide for them. You're not going to be able to care for them. So when stocking up, that's something you want to think about. How are you going to provide for that animal? I personally, I do have rabbits. I'll show you those here in a minute. My rabbits are only going to be to get me by for that first month, after which I have chickens. Chickens are a free-range animal. Require very little to no food being fed to them because they can hunt and gather and provide for themselves. And they multiply rather quickly. Sometimes 12 chicks at a time per hen. Granted, a rabbit will do the same, but like I said, how are you going to feed that rabbit after you run out of feed? So we're going to take a quick second. I'm going to show you my rabbits and my plan as to how I'm going to utilize these rabbits in a survival situation. Alright, here we have one of my bucks amongst many, as you can see, just rows and rows and rows of rabbits. My shed here houses approximately 30-ish rabbits. As many of you know, I'm one of a family of 5, and I plan on feeding my family well for that first month, and until I can adapt my wife and my kids to a survival situation. These rabbits will probably be some of the first to be eaten in a situation like that. They are fully grown, of breeding age. Until then, I can keep breeding these animals and keep supplying rabbits to get them acquired to the taste and things of that nature before then. Like I say, I won't have to provide much feed. I'll be able to feed for the first month or so, and then after that, when rabbit feed is gone, how are you going to care for these animals? You're going to expel energy, if you will, that you could be using hunting and gathering and providing future food for your family on just feeding these animals? Not me. Some people would say yes. I'm not really up for that, but I'm going to eat them, as time allots for it. And then I'll go to my backup plan, which is the chickens, because they'll be reproducing the whole time, providing for themselves. And you'll be surprised how far 20 or 30 chickens will go. Within a year, that 20 or 30 chickens may be 90 chickens. So, they produce just as fast and provide you with more than just meat. I mean, you have eggs and, just different things to add that little bit of comfort to the situation. Alright, now we're going to step over here and look at my second batch that will follow the first batch of rabbits. Alright, here we have my offspring pens. I keep 2 pens where I separate them out. I separate females in this pens and males over here in this pen. These are to follow. They should be ready to eat. If this was to happen tomorrow, for example, I would be able to eat that first batch of rabbits sparingly, rabbit a day or so, these rabbits would gain enough size between now and the end of the month to provide me with my next batch of rabbits. So after that month of food ran out, I would have these rabbits here would be a full size. And yes, I may have to gather a little food, but I mean, that's where stockpiling comes in. Like I say, I'm a family of 5. These rabbits aren't very, very large yet. They could be 8 right now if I wanted to. But my plan is to eat these rabbits in that type of situation after the first batch of rabbits I showed you have been depleted. These are, as you can see, some are Californians, like right there. And then standing up here on the bottle, there's New Zealand, a couple of New Zealands in there running around the back. That fella there's a Dutch. They don't get very big. And the rest of these in here are Californians. I mean, not Californians, excuse me, New Zealands. They, all of them except the Dutch, become pretty large animals, make a pretty good meal. Real common meat production type of rabbit. Alright, after the rabbits run out, I plan to follow that up with chickens. As you can see, there's one of my Rhode Island red roosters right there. He's kind of the king rooster, if you will. Got a little silky sticking his head out from under the water supply there. That's just a vat that I store water in. My plan is to start producing chicken for meat after that. As you can see, there's one of my barred rock hens. Each one of these hens, starts setting on eggs around 12 eggs or so, 12, 14 eggs. And they usually hatch out between 10 and 12 eggs every time. 6 months later, that offspring of this hen or that hen will be producing 10 or 12 eggs of her own. So, I mean, it's a continuous cycle, unlimited food. And a chicken is one animal that does not have to be fed daily. As you can see, mine just run around everywhere. These chickens may get fed high-protein pellets once a week just to help them maintain, during the winter. But it's not necessary. These chickens go out and they roam, hunt their own food, their own water, and they totally tend themselves. I currently house, I don't know, maybe 30 birds at a time here. They come and go as they want. And it's a backup plan to when I run out of those rabbits. Now, I'm not saying don't store up canned goods and home canned, preserved goods, if you will. I'm not saying that at all. I mean, those are always good. Some of them do have a little bit of a shelf life, but you don't want to go off of just eating just vegetables. This way, you got your meat, you got your veggies. You're living good, in my opinion. You can't beat a nice, fresh cut piece of meat compared to that stuff you buy in the store. These taste 10 times better. This is just one of my opinions on surviving a end of the world as we know it type of situation. And by that I mean a situation where the power goes offline, economy collapses, things of that nature. And you always want to be able to prepare for those 1 or 2 people that are close to you who thought you were fools for preparing. You don't want to, I don't know, some people would leave them high and dry and tell them to fend for themselves, but always try and prepare for that 1 or 2 extra person. It's just being a good human. It's the right thing to do. And by having a living supply of food, I have an unlimited supply of food, and I feel I could take on, extra people if I felt if it was necessary and I had to do it. So this is just my opinion, and I know everybody out there has got their own, and a lot of people are cold-hearted about the whole thing. They didn't prepare, let them take care of themselves. Well, I'm just not that way. But I just feel it'd be the right thing to do to help out. Alright, this has just been, one of my opinions, many opinions I have, on a end of the world situation, or end of the world as we know it situation. It just gives you a little food for thought. I would highly recommend that anybody who can and has the, not really the skill, because you can learn skill can be taught, but the location, if you will, consider a living food source. There are going to be days that you've gone hunting all day long and you found absolutely no wild game. Or those days you have foraged for hours and hours and hours and you didn't find anything. In a situation like this, you can always go back to your home, go out there and take one of those animals, and you have food. And if you properly stored up vegetation, dehydrated, canned, preserves, however your preference is to that, you have a full meal for you and your family. I have a wife and 3 kids, and I feel confident that in a situation like this, I would be able to provide for them. I wouldn't have to go out and hunt for at least a month if I wanted to. I could survive the winter when vegetation is slim. Something to consider. I mean, it's just food for thought, if you will. I would highly, like I said earlier, highly recommend, give this some thought. You can't beat a living food source, especially if you have the means and the location for that food source to provide for itself. And if you don't, consider stockpiling enough food to tend some rabbits for a month until you can at least get adapted to the lifestyle and the crisis situation that has been presented to you. This is another episode of Corn-Fed Bushcraft, and until next time, people.